Everyone thought he had kidnapped the baby. The crowd screamed, security guards shouted, and Liam Hartman barreled through the chaos, panic twisting his face. But no one knew the truth. In the middle of it all, a small street boy, Rafi, cradled Evan, Liam's 1-year-old son, against his chest. The baby's tears fell onto Rafi's worn t-shirt, but Rafi whispered softly, rocking him gently, "It's okay. You're safe now." And in that moment, the world seemed to pause. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Everyone wondered, how had a starving street boy ended up holding the most protected child in the city? Rafi was only 8, but life had hardened him in ways most adults never endure. Abandoned by relatives and left to survive on the streets of Philadelphia, he learned quickly that kindness was his greatest currency. He helped stray cats and shared his meager scraps with dogs, always longing for the warmth he'd never known. Evan, meanwhile, was the son of Liam Hartman, a man whose power and wealth protected him in ways Rafi could never imagine. But even in his luxury, Evan's life was not without danger. Anonymous threats had started appearing weeks earlier, warning someone was watching. Liam ignored them, focused on work, unaware that a storm was coming. Rafi, watching from afar, had glimpsed Evan only once, unaware that his life and the child's were about to intersect in the most dramatic way imaginable. One evening, as Rafi scavenged for food, a panicked cry sliced through the alleyways. It was the kind of cry no child should ever make alone. Instinct overrode fear. Street kids were blamed for everything, yet Rafi couldn't leave the sound unanswered. He followed it, heart pounding, until he saw Evan lying near a dumpster. The baby was tiny, bundled in a soft, expensive blanket, sobbing uncontrollably. Rafi's chest tightened. He whispered, "It's okay. I just want to help," and scooped Evan into his arms. The moment the child felt his warmth, the crying stopped. For a fleeting second, Rafi imagined what it must feel like to be held, safe, loved, the very thing he had always wanted for himself. The blanket around Evan bore golden, embroidered initials, E.H. Beside him lay a stroller, one wheel bent at a sharp angle, as if someone had deliberately staged an accident. Fear surged through Rafi. How had a billionaire's child ended up here, abandoned? But his compassion won over fear. He held the baby tightly, whispering gentle words, rocking him slowly. Evan calmed immediately, pressing his cheek to Rafi's chest. But a chill ran down Rafi's spine. From the shadows, eyes seemed to watch him. Someone had been waiting, observing, and Rafi, unaware, was about to step into a moment that would change every life involved. Just as Rafi turned toward the street, 2 security guards arrived. Seeing Rafi holding Evan, their suspicion erupted. "Put the baby down," one shouted. "You can't have him." Rafi's voice trembled. "I didn't take him. He was alone." The crowd gasped, murmurs spreading. The baby, startled, began crying again, but when Rafi held him close, the cries softened. Evan reached for Rafi's shirt, refusing the guard's hands. The crowd froze. The baby was not reaching for them. He trusted Rafi alone. In that instant, everything changed. The boy on the streets was no longer a suspect. He was the child's protector. Liam Hartman arrived like a hurricane, tie undone, eyes wide with panic. His hands shook as he stepped toward Rafi, ready to snatch his son. "Give him to me!" he shouted. "I swear I'll call the police if you hurt him." But Evan stiffened, gripping Rafi's shirt even tighter, tears streaming down his cheeks. Liam froze. Fear, not just anger, coursed through him. His son trusted a stranger more than his own father. Liam's chest tightened, shame beginning to seep in, though he hadn't yet admitted it to himself. Why was Evan reaching for Rafi and not him? The answer would haunt him that night. A year ago, Liam's wife had passed suddenly, leaving him and Evan alone. Overwhelmed by grief, Liam buried himself in work, leaving Evan to the care of nannies and tutors. The distance grew between father and son. Anonymous threats about someone watching Evan had appeared for weeks, but Liam ignored them, convinced it was just noise. Now, holding the baby in Rafi's arms, he realized the danger had been real, and that he had almost failed completely. The child's instinct to trust a stranger reflected not just a momentary bond, but the emotional void Liam had created. Rafi's life had been one of constant struggle, abandoned, hungry, invisible. He survived on scraps and odd jobs, yet his heart remained unbroken. He whispered to stray cats and dogs, shared his meager food, and longed for nothing more than the comfort of a warm embrace. "I just want someone to hold me like that baby," he thought often, never knowing that one night his empathy would save a life. For anyone who's ever felt helpless in the face of a child suffering, Rafi's courage struck a chord. One act of kindness can change everything. If he hadn't heard that cry, what would have happened to Evan? Police arrived, questioning Rafi repeatedly. Liam watched, scanning every detail. The stroller wheel was deliberately cut, the expensive blanket carefully folded. Rafi, trembling, showed no signs of staging the scene, and Evan, calm only in Rafi's arms, spoke volumes without words. Suddenly, suspicion shifted. Maybe Rafi wasn't the culprit. Maybe he was the only witness to what had truly happened. Liam's fear and guilt deepened, mixing with awe at the bravery of this boy who had no reason to be a hero. CCTV footage revealed the kidnapper, working for a rival businessman, pushing the stroller down the alley. The wheel broke, the plan unraveled, and the figure panicked, fleeing into darkness. Evan was left alone, just minutes before Rafi appeared. The boy on the streets, once a suspect, was now the savior. But the question lingered. Why abandon the baby instead of completing the plan? Liam had no answer, only the gratitude and relief that Rafi had been there when it mattered most. Watching Evan cling to Rafi, Liam's anger melted into shame. He awkwardly apologized, fumbling over words that never seemed enough. Rafi forgave him with a simple shrug. Liam offered water, food, even comfort. Evan finally slept against Rafi's chest, soft breaths rising and falling in rhythm. Liam saw, perhaps for the first time, the father he had always wanted to be, and realized that Rafi's courage had not only saved Evan, but had taught him the power of presence and care. Investigators revealed that the kidnapper had acted for ransom,
changes
not
everything.
harm, under orders from a rival
businessman. This changes everything.
But the revelations
we need to act
didn't
quickly.
end there.
No.
Liam learned that Rafi's mother had once worked for him, protecting the company from a massive scandal, quietly, courageously, and with no recognition. He had never known she had a son. Now the boy who saved Evan was tied to his past in ways Liam couldn't have imagined. This truth promised to change both their lives forever. The pieces clicked. Rafi was the son of the woman who had once saved Liam's empire. He had been abandoned, yes, but fate, or perhaps love, had placed him in the alley that night. Liam offered to bring him into his home, to give him security and a family. Rafi hesitated, quiet, then said simply, "Can I just visit Evan sometimes?" The words pierced Liam's heart. All he had ever wanted was to protect Evan, yet this boy only sought connection, not wealth. Liam realized that love, trust, and presence mattered more than anything money could provide. In the weeks that followed, Liam gave Rafi a permanent home. Evan and Rafi became brothers, sharing laughter, toys, and secrets. Rafi attended school, learned to read, and felt safe for the first time. Liam discovered what it truly meant to be a father, present, patient, and loving. The city continued outside their gates, but inside, the lives of 3 children and 1 man were forever changed. Sometimes the poorest child has the richest heart, and sometimes a single act of kindness can rewrite 2 destinies. What do you think? Was it fate, chance, or the power of a child's kindness? Could one small act really change the course of 2 lives forever? Let us know in the comments where you're watching from and what you would have done if you were Rafi. If this story touched your heart, hit the like button, and subscribe for more powerful, emotional stories every week. Remember, sometimes the smallest act of courage can change everything.